My parents sent a mass text. We think it's best you step away for now. No greeting, no explanation. Just that. Below, a thumbs up from my uncle. I didn't reply. I reread it 3 times. Not because I didn't understand it. It was because I understood it. It was a way of saying, you don't belong here. Calmly. Without yelling. No arguing. To be quiet. And comfortable. Answer just as briefly. Understood. Then I'll step away from the foundation as well. Sent it. Closed the chat room. Opened the banking app. There was an account there that everyone thought was shared. But it was registered to me. I'd set it up when they started building a house in Vermont. Then to support Mark when he was out of work. Then when my mom had surgery and insurance wouldn't cover it. The money just showed up when other people didn't have enough. They didn't ask me. They just knew I'd transfer it. So I turned off the automatic transfers. I closed the deposit. I transferred the balance to a new account I opened a week ago. Just in case. During the night the phone started shaking. Slowly at first. Then continuously. In the morning 89 missed calls. Most from my dad. And one voice. Grace, what are you doing? The banks blocked everything. Are you out of your mind? I listened. I hit delete. I wrote to the chat room. I'm honoring your wish. You wanted me to leave. I'm gone. Then I mute it. My brother called in the evening. Talked fast like he always does when he's nervous. Accusing, demanding explanations. I listened. I didn't interrupt. Do you realize you put everyone at risk? He was yelling. There's nothing we can do. Everything is hanging. I didn't ask to be excluded, I replied. It was your decision. He hung up. The next day, a letter arrived from the fund's accountant, asking me to hand over the documents. I replied, without my participation, the foundation loses the right to tax exemption. It's in the bylaws. No one else wrote. My father came in person. No warning. He walked in as if nothing had happened. A folder of papers in his hand. Let's not do the theater. Just sign it, he said. We'll get things back to normal. What back to what? Where I'm not. He didn't say a word. Then he left. Without saying goodbye. It was the first day no one called me. Not in the morning, not in the evening. Just silence. And it didn't feel pressured. On the contrary, it felt like freedom. My mom wrote in the evening. In a private message. One phrase. You could have explained everything. No question mark. Just an accusation wrapped in politeness. I didn't answer. I put do not disturb. The next day the doorbell rang. It was Mark. Wearing the shirt I gave him for his birthday. It looked like it didn't belong on him. We need to talk, he said without waiting for an invitation. What you did. It's too much. I didn't say anything. He walked into the living room by himself. We've always stuck together. We're a family. And you turned everyone off. No, I replied. I just turned myself off. The others carried on as best they could. He spread his arms. He sat down. Then he stood up. Started walking around the room. Mom's worried. Dad's furious. Uncle doesn't know what's going on. You ran everyone into the ground with one message. I just said, I understand. You're the one who asked for it. He stopped abruptly. You take everything literally. It was an emotion. And you turned it into destruction. I didn't destroy. I stopped participating. He pressed his lips together. Then he added quietly, we're in trouble. Without you the fund doesn't work. The accountant can't access it. The payment is hung up. I looked at it. For a long time. He looked away first. You don't want it to spill over, he said, almost in a whisper. It already has, I replied. The day you decided I was redundant. He left quickly. He didn't even close the door. I locked it behind him myself. Slowly. With the key. With a click. There was a cup left in the kitchen that he hadn't finished. I poured it down the sink. Put it in the dishwasher. Started the cycle. From that day on I did it every time. After every visit, after every conversation. I cleaned my tracks. Not out of anger. From understanding. If they came, they were in need. If they left unanswered, they didn't get it. It's not my fault. It's not my concern. 2 days later, I received a notice from the bank, attempting to log into a shared account from a new device. Unauthorized access. The system blocked the session. The manager called. Grace, good afternoon. Someone in your family is trying to gain access. They claim they have verbal consent. We need your written confirmation. Or a formal denial. I chose the second one. He filed it right away. I signed the scan electronically. That same night, I got my father's voice on my answering machine. Are you serious about punishing us? Is this blackmail? I didn't call back. The family chat room began to shake with messages. First polite, then hurtful, then accusatory. You knew the foundation wouldn't work without you. We hoped you'd come to your senses. You can't just quit. I didn't. I let go. It's different. They didn't understand. But I didn't try to explain. Everything I could do, I did. For a long time. Without asking. No conditions. Just because I had to. Now I don't. It's amazing how quickly a person remembers they have a voice when you stop being an echo. They were yelling. I was silent. In that noise and silence was all the understanding I needed. On the third day, Mom called. Her voice was quiet, tired. Don't you want to come over? No. Just to talk. I mean, after all, you've already said everything. Grace. Mom, I don't need you to apologize. I need you to stay out of it. Pause. Too long. I miss you. You don't miss me. You miss me dragging things out. And that was the end of the conversation. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel guilty after I hung up. I went to the bank this morning. Not because I had to, I just wanted to see how my decisions looked in the interface. Everything was clear. Transfers disabled, access revoked, powers of attorney revoked. No red marks. All clear. The manager smiled. Everything is stable. You are free of any obligations. I nodded, thanked him, walked back home. In the kitchen was a note I once written for my mom. Call me if you need anything. I threw it away, along with the magnet. Sometimes freedom isn't new. It's the absence of the old. I sat down at the table. I made myself a coffee. No extra mugs. No 2 spare cups in case anyone stopped by. No one stopped by. And it was finally the right thing to do. What happened next changed everything. Subscribe and stay, you won't want to miss how it unfolded. I woke up early. It was dark outside, the house was quiet. The phone was lying on the bedside table like a landmine. I didn't pick it up. I just got up, turned on the coffee machine, opened the window. The air was thick, sticky, like a closed conversation from which there was no escape. My father was the first to call. Without warning. I didn't answer. 5 minutes later, the second call came from Mark. Then my mom. All of them. 3 calls in 20 minutes. I didn't pick up until the 6th. What is this, a play? Dad's voice was tense. Are you trying to blackmail us? No, I'm not. Then why did you do it? I just walked out. From the foundation. From a structure where they don't ask me, they use me. He stopped talking. Then he spoke more slowly, almost coaxingly. We could have worked things out. Without hysterics. You call my silence hysterical? Grace, stop it. It's not funny. The bank has frozen access. The money's blocked. I warned you. In the chat room. Before you told me to back off. He hung up. An hour later, my mom arrived. No call. No warning. Standing at the door with a bag in her hands, as if that made a difference. I brought you some food, she said. You probably hadn't eaten. I didn't say anything. Accepted the package. Didn't invite me in. We're worried. That's it. This has gone too far. We didn't want you to leave like this. How? We were just tired. You were too adamant. We needed space. Is that why you decided to get rid of me? She lowered her voice. Don't say that. This is all fixable. Just hand the paperwork back. And we'll talk calmly. I'm already talking calmly. She looked down, then reached out to touch mine. I took a step back. Are you afraid of us? I don't want to be comfortable anymore. She walked away. Didn't say goodbye. I put the package on the table. I opened it. There was soup, bread, a note. Think of us. I threw the note away. I left the rest. It wasn't the food's fault. That evening, I went into the foundation's settings. I deleted my digital key, changed my backup email. I removed my phone number. I put a dash wherever my name was. The system prompted me to save the changes. Clicked yes. The next day the accountant called. A different one. A new one. Young, uncertain voice. Hello. This is Richard. I've been assigned to run your foundation. I don't know everything yet, but I need access. You've been appointed interim curator, I take it? No. I resigned from the foundation. But you created the structure. You had the keys. I did. I revoked them. I was told you didn't officially resign. Well, they don't mean it's true. He stopped talking. Then he asked, is there anything I can do to help? No. He said thank you and disconnected. Half an hour later, a letter arrived. From the legal department. Subject line. Initiating transfer proceedings. Attached is a power of attorney template. Waiting for my signature. I closed the letter. No response. Later Mark called. Second time in a week. It wasn't a brother anymore, it was a negotiator. Listen to me. It's all gone wrong. We're at an impasse. I understand you're angry, but let's not burn bridges. I'm not. I crossed the river. He's been quiet. All we're asking for is access to the tranche. There are payments hanging out there. People are waiting. Who are the people? He didn't answer right away. Then he said, us. Family. And a couple contractors. Not my question then. Do you really want to make it a scandal? I don't want anything. I just walked out. Mark exhaled. You know, you were never vindictive. What changed? I stopped being a spare account. The conversation ended. By evening, another letter arrived, already marked urgent. A new text, more formal. Threats of legal intervention. Phrases like damage to reputation, irresponsible behavior, possible consequences. I sent one sentence. All actions are recorded and confirmed. My duties are officially complete. There were no further letters. On the third day, I was summoned to the bank. Not on my own initiative, but at the request of the compliance department. Grace, the manager began, the same one I'd closed everything with a week before. Your family has sent a formal statement. They allege that you acted in a manner detrimental to the collective structure. I looked at him calmly. Was I acting within the law? Yes. Absolutely. Then the matter is closed. He nodded, handed me a copy of the internal certificate. I signed it. On the way out, I got an electronic duplicate labeled, accesses revoked in accordance with procedure. Later, a call from my mother. Her voice is harsh, as if she's rehearsed in advance. We're not gonna let you ruin everything. We have the power to rebuild the foundation without you. Good luck. That's mean. It's fair. You've always been reserved. I didn't expect you to be so vengeful. I'm not retaliating. I'm out. She hung up. I couldn't sleep at night. Not from anxiety, from emptiness. It was strange. Like I'd forgotten what a morning sounds like without expectations. Without other people's requests. The next morning I put together a binder of copies. All my activities, all my statements, dates, transaction numbers. Just to keep lying around. Just in case someone decided their memory was selective. At lunchtime my uncle called. His voice was steady. I don't approve, he said. But I understand. Thank you, I replied. It won't make you feel any better. You know that? It already does. He didn't argue. After the call, I deleted his number. Not because I was angry. I just don't need it anymore. I went to the supermarket that evening. My mom's at the checkout counter. She's looking at me. She's holding the same groceries as always. Bread, milk, bananas. As if nothing had happened. I nodded. She turned away. And that was enough. The invitation came this weekend. Formal. Family council. That's what they called it. The address was my parents' house. The time is Sunday, 4 p.m. signed. From the family. I didn't respond. Just set a reminder to delete the message on Monday. Sunday I drove across town. I bought myself a coffee, went to the bookstore. Sat there for 2 hours. No one called. No one texted. Then at 7:10 p.m., a quick text from Mark. We've been waiting. No period. No question. No meaning. I didn't answer anything. Late that night on the answering machine, my father's voice. Not angry. Quiet. Almost tired. If you still consider yourself part of the family, come back. I listened. Deleted it. Monday morning, a letter arrived in my work email. From a law firm. The same one we've been working with for the last 2 years. The subject is delineation of liability. Cover letter. We have been notified of your withdrawal. Please confirm that you have no objection to your name being separated on behalf of the foundation. I checked the box. I signed it. Sent it. An hour later a scan came back. An official letter where I wasn't. Not on the list of founders, not on the board, not on the team. Not in the notes. Just a blank sheet that used to have my name on it. Kept it. In a separate folder. With the date. No one called that day. No one wrote. Not my mom. No brother. No uncle. No father. And I didn't write to anyone either. For the first time in a long time, balance. No debt. No explanations. Without the circles you walk in to be accepted. The next day, I opened my file folder and deleted the duplicates. I couldn't make up my mind before. I thought they'd come in handy. Now it was clear they weren't. I went to the chat room. Archived them. Then I deleted it. No hesitation. There was a note in the kitchen left to myself a month ago. Call the accountant, reconcile the balance. I crumpled it up. I threw it away. In the evening, a notice came from the bank. Your actions have been confirmed. The changes are irreversible. I clicked accepted. A lantern was lit by the window. I sat across from it, in a chair that no one else occupied but me. And I wasn't expecting anyone else to look in. The pause was complete. Not the silence, but the absence of other people's voices in my head. And in that pause was everything I needed. It was the climax. Everything you've been waiting for is right here. Subscribe now to see the hero put everyone in their place. It's been a week. No calls, no texts. No accusations, no entreaties. The pause seemed strange at first, then long overdue. The silence worked like a detox. From words. From looks. From voices that were always a little louder than mine. I woke up earlier. Not because I had to, but because I could. I had breakfast on the balcony. I read the newspaper without my phone in hand. Tea was getting cold. Not because I was distracted, but because I just sat and watched people walking down the street, not expecting me to catch up with them. In the mailbox, silence. In the messenger's, silence. I began to learn not to wait. One afternoon, I got a call from an unfamiliar number. A woman identified herself as a receptionist from the same law firm. Ms. Harper? I'm calling with a question. We've discovered a number of unreconciled assets. They're listed under the foundation section, but they're in your name. What should we do about them? Which ones? Real estate in Maine. 2 parcels of land. Equipment. A few rental properties. I opened the laptop. Checked it. Yeah, it's still on me. You want to transfer them to the foundation? No. Do you want to withdraw it? I already did. Then we'll have to notify the other party that these assets are non-transferable? That's already been done. And recorded. She said thank you. She hung up. 2 hours later, the family chat room returned the first message she'd gotten in a while. From Mark. Are you serious about cutting it all off? Then from Mom. That's just cruel. Then from Dad. Consider yourself gone. And finally Uncle briefly thumbs up. I closed the chat room. For good this time. The deletion went without error. The next day I found a letter in my mailbox. Paper. No return address. Inside was a printout of an old photograph. Me and my father. I'm about 7 years old. He's holding me by the shoulders. Handwritten signature. I hope you still remember who we are to each other. I looked at the picture. For a long time. Not out of nostalgia. Out of wonder how alien a person can seem when their sense of duty is gone. I burned the paper in the sink. No anger. Just to leave no trace. They know how to use even sentimentality as a tool. Then Linda called, a former colleague at the foundation. Calm, precise. Always kept a low profile. They're trying to restructure everything, she said. It's not coming together without you. Mark suggested a temporary scheme, but it doesn't pass the audit. I'm not interested. I understand. I'm just warning you. They're running around right now. Let 'em run. They think you're still coming back. It's not my circle. I'm glad you came out, she said. It took me 3 years to do the same. After the call, I closed the last files related to the foundation, deleted the folders, emptied the recycle garbage can, checked to make sure there were no backups anywhere. It felt weird, like walking out of a room you'd spent 10 years in and suddenly realizing the air was different, cleaner, quieter. I drove to the coast. I just got in my car and drove away. No GPS, no plans. I turned on the radio. I put my phone on emergency mode. The wind was strong. The waves were noisy. I sat on a rock, listened, and was silent. For the first 30 minutes, the silence inside seemed unbearable. Then it became a support. I didn't think about my family. I didn't remember anything. I just sat there. And that was enough. A few days later, a notice came from the registration office. It was official confirmation. The structure of the foundation had been changed. I was no longer in it. Not in the charter. Not in the founders. Not on the list of notification recipients. I reread the document twice. Then I closed it. It wasn't the end. It was the lack of a sequel. The landline rang in the kitchen. I hadn't picked it up in years. I didn't even remember it working. I picked it up out of inertia. Grace? It's me. The voice was almost unrecognizable. Dad. Tired. Empty. I just wanted to say, we didn't know it would be like this. We thought you'd, well, you could handle it. I did. I didn't expect you to leave. Because I'm not used to being able to. He stopped talking. Then, almost in a whisper, I miss you. You miss the function. I don't fulfill it anymore. He didn't argue. Just breathed into the tube. Then he said, I don't know how to live with this now. That's not my question. I hung up. Slowly. Without anger. No regret. Then I sat down by the window. The light fell on the table. There was no drama in it. Just an even day. I spread out a notebook in front of me. I wrote a list. Not to-dos. Not goals. Just what I have. Freedom. Space. Peace of mind. No one calls. No one's demanding. No one blackmails with "we're family." I added the last line. And silence is no longer a punishment. I closed the notebook. Put it away in a drawer. I woke up this morning without the usual heaviness in my chest. Without the background feeling of who do I owe today? And it wasn't the beginning. It was just life. Without them. Without expectations. Without having to explain why no is not aggression but a boundary. I deleted the last folder from the cloud archive. It was called simply Foundation. Inside, dozens of files, emails, contracts, scans. Everything that kept me there. Everything I'd once been proud of. It took 2 seconds to delete. Then I turned off the laptop. Forever. It was just for the foundation. I picked it up, drove it to the service and turned it in for recycling. That evening I cooked dinner. For the first time in a month, not from leftovers, not hastily, not because I had to. Just because I wanted to. I chopped vegetables, taking my time. I listened to the radio. And for the first time I didn't expect anyone to come over. There was one plate on the table. One glass. One napkin. I didn't feel alone. I felt the presence of myself. The next day I got a call from the foundation. Already a new cast. Someone named Owen. A voice confident without the old guilt. We've rebuilt the structure, he said. Everything's working. No problems. Good. Good. Thank you for keeping it neat and tidy. You're welcome. You want to get reports? Just in case? No. Not anymore. Good luck, Miss Harper. I hung up. I deleted the number. Blocked it. Not out of anger. Out of hygiene. In the evening I went to the lake. No cell phone. No bag. Just my coat. The wind was damp. The ground was soft. The air was clean. I stood by the water for a long time. I didn't think. Didn't feel heroic. It just felt flat. They didn't apologize. Not one. Not one admitted what they'd done. Didn't say, you were right. And I didn't have to. I didn't need an admission. I needed silence. And I made it. With my own hands. No shouting. No show. I just walked out. And I didn't slam the door behind me.